I cannot believe I'm making this video right now. How are we already here? At the time of this recording, it has been 212 days since the Cowboys have suited up and played football. 212. Absolutely insane. So we're back on the grind, trying to push out these preseason game previews and eventually regular season previews when we get there. But I feel like it's even more important for the preseason because a lot of the guys playing are playing for the bottom of the roster. They're playing for a handful of spots. You got 30, 40 guys playing for the last 8 to 10 spots on the roster. So I find it even more enjoyable to talk about guys that you might not know about or have heard much about at camp, who's fighting for their job, who's going to play. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. I promise you, you are going to be the most informed preseason football watcher in the history of Dallas Cowboys preseason football watchers. Let's get into it. Really quick, before we get into this breakdown, a couple housekeeping things. Some guys that are going to be out of this game with injuries, like Rob Jones has a neck fracture, out for the next 2 to 3 months. Tyler Guyton had the knee fracture, expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Paris Campbell was put on IR. It was a season-ending injury. He's not going to be out there, obviously. DeMarvion Overshown is still recovering from his ACL. And Kalen Carson, the second-year corner, is out with an hyperextended knee. He's expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Some guys that are questionable for this game for the Cowboys: Deuce Vaughn has an ankle. Wanye Thomas has been getting back out there slowly. I know he was in pads and a helmet maybe yesterday, the day before. He has a hamstring injury. Brevin Spann-Ford has a lower body injury. And Justin Barron, the linebacker, has a back injury. We don't really know yet, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So if you don't hear some of these guys' names, that's why. For this game preview, I'm going to go by position, kind of hit a couple key points at each one, and then at the end, I'm going to give you guys my spotlight players to watch for this game. So let's start at quarterback, my favorite and least favorite position in the preseason. If you have a guy that has upside at quarterback, you want to see him play. It's great, it's fun when he does something good. You're like, oh my gosh, he's the future. But if you have a guy that isn't good and you have to watch him throw the ball 30 times in a preseason game, and then you have no idea how any of your wide receivers are or how your offensive line is because they're terrible, it can just make or break a preseason. But lucky for us, we have Joe Milton. We get to watch Joe Milton sling the ball around for probably the majority of 3 games. And I really got a feeling that there's going to be quite a couple wow moments sprinkled in there. Joe Milton and Will Grier, they're going to split snaps. I think Milton's probably going to get a majority of the game reps. We're going to have to see how Schottenheimer balances that out with those two guys. Milton's been really impressive so far at camp. He's not been perfect. I don't expect him to be perfect in the preseason. There's just something there. I'm excited to see it in game form, even if it is the preseason, how he does with this offensive line, how he evades pressure, steps up in the pocket, and how he connects with the wide receivers that we're going to talk about in a minute. But really quick, let's go on to the running back group. And this is probably the most likely group as far as established veterans playing snaps. You have Javonte Williams going into his 5th year. He's probably going to play. Miles Sanders, I don't think I listed him as having an injury, but I swear that I read somewhere that Sanders did. He should get snaps if healthy. Jaden Blue, Deuce Vaughn, Phil Maffa, and then Hunter Lipke will probably all get snaps. But here's the problem. You have that many running backs. You have 3 games. How many times are you running the ball in each preseason game? I don't really know. It's still just not a ton of reps for each of those guys. Some running backs need 4, 5, 6 carries to really get in the groove of a game. But you're switching these guys out every 5 to 6 carries because you need to see the next guy. So how is Shotty going to balance that out? Who are we going to see more and less of? I have a feeling that they really know where Williams and Sanders stand in terms of what they've done in their NFL career, where they are now. They're probably going to want to see more Jaden Blue if Deuce Vaughn is healthy. The same with Phil Maffa. And then Hunter Lipke could be a toss-up. Joe Milton is going to be throwing the ball to some fun wide receiver talent. I'm excited about this wide receiver room because I think the competition is really starting to heat up between the 4th, 5th, and 6th guys that hang on to this roster. You have Jonathan Mingo, who Dallas traded a 4th-round pick for last year. Jalen Cropper, who has stuck around for a while now, been on the practice squad, was an undrafted free agent out of Fresno State. He's a smaller guy, so he kind of fits that slot role that CD and Turpin ultimately filled. He's been impressive in the past couple of camps, has done pretty good in the preseason in the past. Then you have Traeshon Holden. Now, I want to make an in-depth video on Traeshon Holden, the undrafted free agent out of Oregon. So if you like this video, if this video gets, let's say, 500 likes, I will drop an in-depth breakdown of how Holden's done in camp so far, how he was at Oregon. I'm going to go back and watch his all 22 from Oregon, everything leading up to the draft. Could this guy stick on the roster over someone like Ryan Flournoy? We're going to get to see a lot of both of these guys. Flournoy was a 6th-round pick last year. Holden, an undrafted free agent. Right now, Holden seems to have the edge, but the preseason could really make or break that. If Flournoy has a really good preseason and then Holden kind of fizzles out as this goes on, then it could switch the other way. But right now, I think Holden has the 6th spot on this team. Everyone but CD and Pickens has to play. You have Jalen Tolbert, you have Mingo. Their roles are not and should not be guaranteed. They have to play. They're fighting for wide receiver 3, 4, or 5 at this point. All of the wide receivers but CD and Pickens need to play. With Joe Milton throwing the ball, I think someone that can actually facilitate the offense, which one of these receivers stands out? Now, let's head over to the offensive line. Another position group that could really make or break a preseason. Tyler Booker, the Cowboys' first-round pick from this year, taken 12th overall. He should get reps. A pretty good bit of reps, honestly. Maybe the first half of this game. Definitely in the second and third games, he should start getting some good work. No Tyler Guyton. I mentioned that to start the video. Likely going to miss the first week of the regular season. But in that case, you get to see some other guys. Awesome Richards, who's come in periodically throughout his career. And then Nate Thomas, who I saw some videos of him. He looked good. He's not perfect, the perfect left tackle. He's got some violent hands. His feet were moving well. He's a big body. He looks like he could do some damage and move people. So you have Richards, Nate Thomas, and then I expect some veterans to get some snaps. A second-year player, Cooper Beebe, Brock Hoffman, TJ Bass. So that is the entire offense, guys, you should be watching out for. Let's move over to the defensive front and the linebackers. Not starters, but key rotation guys should get some burn in this game. Donovan Ezeraku, who I am super excited to see. I got a feeling he's gonna make some rookie tackles look ridiculous out there. Have a feeling you're gonna see a sack or two from Ezeraku. Then you have Mozzie Smith, who absolutely needs the snaps. Please. That defensive interior, you got to start figuring it out. Carry-on Winfrey from the UFL, get him in there, get him some reps. I want to see everyone on the defensive line getting snaps because you really, really got to figure out who can play and who can't. Mozzie just needs the work. Jay Toia being a late-round pick, he needs the work. So I'm interested to see how they go about that. For the linebackers, Maris Leofau, Damone Clark, someone that seems to have been playing better since Matt Eberflus got here. I want to see how he looks. And then Shamar James, a very raw linebacker coming out of Florida this year that the Cowboys took in the 5th round that they actually traded up for. I like the instincts and the athleticism. How much has he progressed overall? Reading and reacting. I think that's kind of what he struggled with at Florida. Now for the cornerbacks. Trayvon Diggs is obviously not going to play. Savon Ravel is not ready. Kalen Carson was out with his injury. Josh Butler is sidelined. So we're going to see a good bit of guys like Kaiir Elam. I think he's going to play at least early on in this game. Unless Dallas thinks, unless the defensive coaching staff thinks that Kaiir Elam is your day one starter at corner, opposite of Deron Bland. He needs to be out there getting reps. You have Keemon Hall, Troy Pride Jr. There's a lot of corners here. It's just, with all the injuries, we're going to get to see a lot of young guys play. But Revel, the practice clips that I saw, he's not ready. Diggs doesn't seem like he's going to be ready anytime soon. Kalen Carson is out 4 to 6 weeks. And then Josh Butler, he tore his ACL on Thanksgiving, so he's obviously not going to be back either. I need some hope from that position. And then for the safeties, we're probably not going to see Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker, but we will see Marquise Bell, someone I want to see get more reps, Wanye Thomas as well, and then Elijah Clark, the undrafted free agent from Syracuse, who a lot of people had really high hopes for coming into camp. He's trying to stay on this roster with the safety room because it's kind of just a filled out group. They have their veterans, they have the guys they like that they brought back. Can Elijah Clark make some plays? Maybe Dallas figures out a way to get another safety here. Now let's head over to my spotlight players to watch in this first preseason game. Obviously, most importantly, Tyler Booker. He's stepping in for a Hall of Fame guard in Zach Martin. The 12th overall pick, you expect a lot from him this upcoming season. he needs to come in there and look like a first-round pick playing against maybe a fourth-round defensive tackle. He needs to be moving people. We're really relying on him and that offensive interior to take over games and give the running backs some room to run. Speaking of running backs, Jaden Blue, the rookie out of Texas. I would just be ecstatic if we can see Jaden Blue break loose for like a 40 or 50 yard run, see that speed out on the field. I would be super excited. Javonte Williams, obviously battling for that running back one job, probably with Miles Sanders. I want to know what he looks like compared to what we saw the past couple of years with the Broncos. After that ACL injury, he just hasn't been the same guy. Does he get out there, look like he has a little bit more pop, a little bit more juice? I'm not super hopeful for it, but it is a guy that I want to keep an eye on. Then the wide receivers, Traeshon, Holden, and Jonathan Mingo. Holden is trying to hold on to his roster spot because the wide receiver room is not overloaded with talent. You have Lamb and Pickens right there, obviously. But then Dallas invested a third-round pick in Tolbert. They invested a fourth-round pick in Mingo. They signed Turpin. That sixth spot is up for grabs between Flournoy, Jalen Brooks, Traeshon, Holden. So Holden needs to prove that he can take over that sixth spot, and maybe he can do some things on special teams as well. And then Nate Thomas. Didn't get to see him last year because he was put on IR as a rookie. I'm kind of worried without Tyler Guyton that first week, second week, third week, however long he ends up missing. I'm worried about the left tackle spot because that could really make or break the offense as a whole. Nate Thomas, I've been pretty impressed by what I've seen from camp and practice clips. How does he perform over the course of a half or a quarter? And then on the defensive side of the ball, Donovan Ezeraku, this doesn't even need to be explained. He's been killing everybody at camp. He's looked so good. The bend, the first step, the explosiveness. He's incredible. I expect a Donovan Ezeraku sack in this game. That's my list of guys. I can't believe we're here. I can't believe it's time for football. We're talking football right now. If you guys enjoyed, if you want to see a Traeshon Holden breakdown video, make sure you like this video, comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited that we're just back. We're back. I love you all, and I'll hopefully see you back with that Holden video. Bye.